Hey guys, many of y'all requested, wanted to see what I'm doing about this Ford Fusion that I bought. That was, it's a salvage rebuilt title, and it's from the state of Texas. Hasn't been registered in the state of Georgia yet. And as you can see, we've already got one, and they're great little cars, man. This one right here, it's got like 250, 270 horsepower, 4-cylinder, it gets 30 miles a gallon. I mean, 5-star rated crash test. Nice little car. They're sporty, and they have all kinds of bells and whistles. We get the titanium version. That's the one that has all that. So as you can see, it's titanium EcoBoost. Same thing with this one right here. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get this registered in the state of Georgia. I'm not a dealer, I'm not a rebuilder or anything like that, just average Joe, and I want to drive this car and get it inspected by the state and make sure everything's okay. It's already, the owner sold it to me before they could get it registered. They tried to register it and they had it inspected and it didn't pass the airbag test because the airbag light stayed on. And I don't know how they got it rebuilt and, without getting the airbag certified, but it's a rebuilt certified salvage car. But the state of Georgia wants to inspect it also, which is good because they want to make sure everything's in good shape before you import it, bring it into the state. And I'm all for that too because airbags are essential to me. I've been in a wreck and had an airbag deploy, and if it wasn't deployed, I probably would have, hit the windshield or had the steering wheel in my chest and stuff like that because I can see the purpose. They are a lifesaver. In fact, I remember it was a Ford Mustang, a 93 Fox body Ford Mustang with a 5-liter, and this lady in the Toyota Sequoia just pulled right across the street. I hit the brakes and I swerved off to the side and ended up, we hit. And it was her fault, by the way. She just didn't see me coming. But I remember bouncing off that steering wheel, and my knees would have hit the dash and stuff like that, but the airbags went off and saved me from getting injured really bad. So anyway, I want the airbags in this car 100%. I want everything, checked out. So I'm in the process of doing this and see how far I can go. I've hired a company that does, this is a restraint control module. This is the center. It's kind of like the flight data computer. It controls whether the airbags have been deployed, and like if you've been in an accident, this records all the data, such as the speed you were at, and I'm sure all kinds of impact sensors, all that kind of stuff. But this module, once you're in a wreck, it retains the data permanently in here, and you can't erase it unless you either go to a certified service that can do it or a dealership. So it's retained in here, and like as an average Joe, you can't can't erase it yourself unless you know anything about EEPROM chips and and removing all that. But I'm definitely going to leave that out of my my knowledge base right there, because I'd rather have a company that is certified to do this reset it. Send it away to the company. I don't know if you can tell. Let me get my glasses on. And for some reason, they were not able to reset this. The company's called My Airbags, and they're actually based in Beaufort, Georgia, which is really close to me. So it didn't take me long to get it there and get it back. The unit was not reset due to hardware communication issues. So they are sending me a good one, but it doesn't have the VIN number for this car in it. So I'm going to have to program that myself and see if I can do it. I think I can do that without having to go to the dealership to get it done. And hopefully I don't have to do that because they charge an arm and a leg. And I'm hoping also, let me show you what sensors, what data I pulled off here. And it's got some diagnostic codes on it. I took this thing apart to check it out and see if it had maybe been in a flood or something. But I opened it up and all the modules and everything. I mean, everything looked like it was okay. It didn't look like anything had been wet or arced out or anything like that. Here, from this restraint control module, these are the diagnostic codes that I pulled from it. One of them is driver frontal stage 1 deployment. I believe this is an airbag deployment. This is the other airbag deployment, I believe. It says open circuit. This one driver knee bolster deployment control. This is, I believe, the knee airbag, the one below the steering wheel. Hopefully this comes out on the camera very well. Collapsible steering column deployment control. This is a sensor that's in the steering column. It says circuit open. All these say circuit open. So I'm hoping this new module, I find out that these airbags don't need to be reset or replaced. But haven't got to that part yet. I'm still waiting on that the other restraint control module to come in and for me to program it, and then I'll run these diagnostic codes again. Driver's seatbelt pretensioner. The seatbelts also have sensors on them, and once they're deployed, you'll get like an open circuit like this says. I think that this one has 2 or 3 sensors on it. See, these are both driver's seatbelt pretensioner. That means when they were in a wreck, it was probably the driver's seatbelt. So there's probably somebody in the driver's side, and the tensioners were fired and recorded this data. At least this is from the old module. Maybe the new module won't have this in there. And this is the most important code right here, and this is the one that I had to send this off to get reset. This RCM B1193, crash event storage full and locked. And the fact it says locked, that means that I am not able to get into it, and not without special equipment or the knowledge to do so. And I really don't want to monkey around with this. I just want a factory reset module that reads the airbags and tells me if there's a problem with anything in the system. And that's the importance of this. This little module right here, it tells you if you have any bad circuits. It tells you if you have any airbags that are not going to work correctly. So this is probably the most important part of the system, this module right here, and I want this to work correctly. So this one's going to be chucked in the garbage can, and I'm going to go with another one that's got the same part number right here, which is actually shared with the Ford Escape and a couple other cars also, as well as the Fusion. I'm just going to make sure I have this exact part number that I replace it with. Okay, the new module came in. I've got to make sure the part numbers match up, which is right there, and if I remember correctly, that's what it is. And I'm going to, it says Ford Escape on it, but they share the same part numbers as the Fusion. So I'm going to install this, start putting that back together, and researching the codes, I realize, and not just research the codes, airbag is missing right here. There's supposed to be a knee bolster airbag right there, which is not even installed. I'm getting a code, 2 codes for this airbag. I'm getting a code for the seatbelt retractors, and something else in the steering column. I forgot what it was. I'll have to, maybe I'll post it in the video, but there's another sensor. So if I fix the knee bolster, the computer, this airbag, and this retractor, I should be able to clear the codes for the airbag, which that sounds like a lot, but it is better than having to go on the other side of the dash, pull the dash apart and all that kind of stuff. I'm not getting any codes for that stuff over there. The seats actually have airbags in them. I'm not getting any codes on those, so that's good. At least not until I put this module in. After I put this module in, I might get some more codes. But let's get started. I'll put this module in and give it a go. ES7T 14B321AA. That's exactly the same. Try a module reset. Oh, doesn't look like I'm connected or something. Oh, I think I got rid of one. No more crash data set. Now I got to pull the driver's airbag out and pull the seat belt out and get a knee bolster bag. Alright, I'm going to pull the airbag out, hopefully, without deploying it. There's a little hole here somewhere. And you should be able to pop it loose like that. There we go. Well, how about that? We'll just cut the connectors off these things, I guess. Hold on. Here we go. I don't think I'll be putting that airbag back in here. So check this out. This airbag's already been deployed. They just stuck the cover back on it. I guess they put a new piece of leather on it. Yes, what they did. They just put a new piece of leather on it. Stuck the airbag back in here because that's why this thing's all blown and color discolored. Isn't that crazy? Pretty crappy. I just hate that I'm gonna have to figure out the damn wiring on here. I just got to order a bunch of parts and swap them out. So the new module is installed and the code's cleared for that. I've taken apart steering column, airbags, taken the seatbelt restraint, the retractor system over here. That's out because I was getting code on that. And here are the old parts. This is the steering column sensor for when it was collapsed. It's triggered, so it's got an open circuit, and this needs to be replaced. Here's the seatbelt retractors, and you can tell they've been fired because they're all squished up right here, so they're no good. And here's the old airbag. You can tell somebody tried to pull a fast one. They cut the airbag out and just put a cover back on it. I don't know if this is the original cover or what, but this is the way somebody tried to get rid of this car. And it was registered in Oklahoma and registered in the state of Texas. So these are the old parts. Here are my replacement parts. I've got a new seatbelt retractor, knee airbag, I've got this sensor. I'm not using this column, by the way, because it's pretty messed up. Here's the steering column sensor, the one I showed you. That this thing right here you cannot buy from Ford. You have to get a whole steering column, or yeah, you probably have to buy a whole steering column. Or used one, it costs about 65 bucks. So it's same price to buy the whole steering column. And anyway, this is the bad one, and that's the one that'll go in. So I'm not using the steering column, just using the sensors off it. That's out of a 2015, just like this. So let me get these parts installed in here and see if we can take it from there. And that's what it's supposed to look like in there. I'm also going to take the clock spring out and put it in there because this airbag had blown before, and I don't want that to happen again. I'm going to reuse these. 2 stages. Yeah, there's only one way those can go back. They're keyed like that. So there's the airbag that I need. That's probably one of the most expensive parts. I gotta take this apart. There we go. It's a little corroded also, but I guess it's gonna be alright. That's what the difference is. See, that one's pushed down and that one's up, and what happens is the column slams back and pushes that down, and then it no longer makes contact, and you have to replace the sensor in it. And up and like that. I got everything loosely fastened in here, airbags attached. Seat belt sensors attached. Seat is installed. Knee airbags attached. I'm gonna hook the battery up, and hopefully we won't have a bunch of airbags blowing. Well, so far so good. Didn't have an airbag blow. I'm afraid to sit in this thing and start it.
Yeah, this is not a good idea.
You got to though.
Well, just reach over with your foot. You don't have to sit in it.
We got an ABS light on, which we didn't have that before, and it says that came on when I cleared the codes and I put the other. I think once I drive it, it will go away. We'll see. But no airbag lights. Now I'm going to hook up the scanner, and we have no codes. Those are gone. Now we just have 2 codes for the whole car. Missing calibration for longitudinal acceleration sensor. That wasn't there before, so I don't know. Anti-lock braking system. Previously set EDC not present at time of request. Malfunction indicator lamp is off for this TDC. Let's do ABS and this. Let's just reset these. Medium speed CAN bus. Boom. ABS. That's all I got now. No airbag light.
Well, how do you fix ABS?
I'm going to take it for a drive and see if that fixes it.
Alright.
Because I tried clearing the code, but we're clean on the restraint control module. No airbag lights, and everything seems to be working. Made some progress to take it for a spin down the block, see if I can clear the ABS light, and I have no problems. It's ready for inspection. I'm going to get the state of Georgia inspector out here. For salvage vehicle inspection, have them go over it and make sure everything's hunky-dory, and then I'm going to get a title bond, and waiting on VIN history from the state of Texas, and I go in the DMV right after that and see if I can get a bonded title. Alright, stay tuned guys, and I'll let you know how this progresses. Man, the airbag light was still on. Alright, so put my seatbelt on. And we have no lights. No illuminated lights. Everything's copacetic and the way it came from Ford, the way it's supposed to run. So I've got a couple of ODB scan tools. I guess I've got them in order of expense here, and these two are probably interchangeable. They're probably about the same amount. I think they were like this was under 20 bucks. This one was $18 on sale. This one, if you buy it new, is like $79, but I've got it used off of Facebook for like $30. And this is a VCM. This is like the Ford scan tool, but this is a Chinese version of it. And I've used this. This is the one that I had before I even started this. It only does the high-speed bus. It doesn't do the mid-speed bus, which controls all the other modules. You can only read certain modules on the high-speed bus, which is usually the PCM and you know, just basic engine modules. And then you can you know, clear codes with it, and it's useful for what it does. But it doesn't have a mid-speed bus switch on it. It only reads the high-speed bus. This one right here does both. It has the high-speed bus, and if you flip the switch like that, it'll read your PCM, you know, that controls the engine, and the TCM transmission control. But if you flip the switch, it does ABS, it does you know, the restraint control module, and a lot of other modules that you wouldn't get with this one. Even though these are same price, this one right here has been the most useful for me. This one's Bluetooth. This one is USB, as you can see. This one is Wi-Fi. This one does both high-speed and mid-speed bus. But I haven't been able to get a real reliable connection. I can do it with my laptop, but if I try to do it with Android and my phone, I'm not getting a very reliable connection with it. It's probably something that I need to fiddle around with, but I don't have time to mess around. So this right here is the most reliable connection, this USB I haven't really had any problems out of this. It's a Bluetooth, but like I said, it only does the high-speed bus. This right here is a J2532 pass-through device, and it does programming like Ford does, but you have to have the Ford IDS software, and you have to pay for a license, which is very expensive. You can get a 2 or 3 day license that costs like, I don't know, what it used to be $30 or something, and then it's gone up to like 80. A year license for this would be like $800, but that's, you know, for 365 days. You probably only use it like, you know, 1 or 2 days, or you just use it as you need it, which is probably what I'll do if I ever run across that. But so far, I have to tell you, this little $18 device has saved the day. I have been able to do more with this than I have any of these other you know, components right here. I was able to reset the ABS sensor for lateral stability or something in stability control. Using this device, I recalibrated it, and just a couple of, you know, pushes of the button, I mean, it cleared the whole code and everything. I was able to reinstall the restraint control module with this and program the VIN number to match the VIN number in the car. So this and the ForeScan software has been invaluable. I wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff without that and ForeScan. This right here, I should be able to do a lot more with it. I'm going to learn to use it and get the right software with it. You can use the Chinese software, but you got to watch it because there's a bunch of viruses on it and stuff like that, and you can't trust it. It's hacked, and they have it on VMware where it's on an image that saves the date when it was working. Like you get a 3-day trial or something, and you're supposed to, you know, reboot the same image over and over again to keep using that license. I don't want to do that. I think I'm just going to pay Ford for a couple of day license, and they'll let you download the latest code for your you know, updates for your control module, and that's the way to go. So before I do that, I want to study this and know exactly what I'm going to do before I buy that license, so that I can make good use of the money that's spent. But that's my arsenal for playing with the computer, the control modules, and if you're going to get anything, I would recommend this to start with. $18, Amazon, and I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but I'll tell you right now, put that in your toolbox. You'll never regret it.
Hey, thanks for watching my channel, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do for future updates. Remember, build it, don't buy it.